Hello guys. It's 3 after 12. I am going to be heading over to the other house. My son is coming over in about an hour after they go to the farmer's market to celebrate my birthday because they were working yesterday. He was working yesterday. And so I'm going to be heading over there. Just wanted to go over some true crime headlines before I go. I'll have another cup of coffee. Just took my Zyrtec. Allergies are feeling a hell of a lot better. So much better. What else? Yeah. And let me get up to speed over here. So I mentioned this guy a little briefly last night. But let's go through this again with a little more details. This guy right here, which you'll see he was bit on the ear. And that's because he was holding a woman captive. He's from Texas. He's been arrested after a woman that he was holding captive escaped from a home in Bexar County. And she told police that this man had kidnapped her and he had beaten her over the course of several days. The Bexar County Sheriff, Javier Salazar, said the woman who is 45 years old, was able to escape and flee that home early Saturday. She ran immediately to a neighbor's house and then called for help. This is Jason Daniel Steele. He's 46. Again, he's from Texas, and he has now been charged with kidnapping and assault, family violence. He was already wanted on an aggravated assault charge with a deadly weapon. The sheriff said that the woman told investigators that she had dated this guy right here, okay, Jason Daniel Steele, several months ago. And he abducted her from a farm where she was working. He put her into an 18-wheeler and drove her to Tempe, Arizona, where he attempted to abandon her. Almost sounds like that guy that put those people in the shipping container and then he wrote those Amazon reviews. The woman convinced him to take her back to Texas, but instead of letting her go when they reached Texas, he locked her into a bedroom. And in that bedroom, he beat her, he threatened her, he left her without food until she escaped. She tried to escape sooner, but she got into a altercation with Steele and was unsuccessful. Saturday, she was able to finally successfully escape. And the reason she was able to do that is because her captor was on drugs and apparently let his guard down, according to her. She is now safe, recovering from her injuries. A SWAT team went to the home to arrest Steele, who came outside and was taken into custody. 3 other people were inside the home. They refused to come out, but officers had to use tear gas to get them to come out. The sheriff didn't say what charges those 3 people will face. Investigators are looking at possible drug and human smuggling activity. At the very least, these 3 people knew this lady was being held against her will. He said that they were checking on her but not feeding her. Investigators are looking into whether there is any connection to a large human smuggling bust made at the home in February. If there's any connection to a huge human smuggling bust made at the home in February. Steele was not involved in that arrest. I would probably say there's a good chance that there's a connection. I don't know about you guys. Okay. The suspect in a shooting of a retired Wisconsin judge in his home on Friday had a hit list with more than a dozen names. And on that hit list was Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The Wisconsin Department of Justice identified the suspect as Douglas K. Hude. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure. It's Uhde, 56 years old, and said he remains in critical condition from an apparently self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Department of Justice in Wisconsin have not formally identified the victim in Friday's shooting, but multiple sources have identified him as former Juneau County Judge John Romer, 68. Romer was found zip-tied to a chair, shot to death when a tactile team entered the home about 4 hours after they were called by someone who escaped the house and called from a neighbor's home. The state DOJ said the team went into the house after negotiations with the suspect failed, and he was found in the basement along with a weapon. One moment, please. Okay, so then we have, sorry about that, I had to answer something. This suspect's hit list was found in his car, including the names of Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, as well as Evers and Whitmer. Wisconsin officials and representatives of McConnell and Evers did not confirm the inclusion on the list, but Whitmer's Deputy Chief of Sheriff, Zach Pohl, said in a statement that the governor's office has been notified that her name appeared on the Wisconsin gunman's list. He declined further comment. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul said on Friday that the killing appeared... Excuse me, I'm just choking on a piece of oatmeal now. Okay, let me take a drink here. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul said on Friday that the killing appeared to be a targeted act, which was based on some sort of court case or court cases. The suspect has a lengthy criminal history, including felonies in Wisconsin and Texas, most of them years old, and one of them does involve Romer. Okay, so the suspect faced multiple charges relating to a burglary in 2001. Romer was not the judge at that time, but he was assigned to the case in February of 2005. In November of 2005, Romer presided when the suspect pled no contest to burglary while armed with a dangerous weapon, carrying a concealed weapon, possessing a short-barreled shotgun or rifle, and felon in possession of a firearm. Romer sentenced him to 6 years in state prison and 9 years extended supervision on the armed burglary charge, and sentences for the other charges were served concurrently with that. The Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court, Annette Kingsland Ziegler, issued a statement on Romer's death, saying that he dedicated much of his career to public service in the law. Before taking the bench in 2004, he had served as an assistant district attorney, as an assistant state public defender. He was known by colleagues for his sharp legal mind and his willingness to share his time and knowledge with others. His work made a tremendous difference in the lives of many people in Juneau County and elsewhere in the state. Our deepest sympathy goes to Judge Romer's family at this time. The judge retired in 2017, and the case is being investigated as both a homicide and possible domestic terrorism. So, one second. Sorry. Okay. Now, we're going back to that something else we talked about the other night. The stabbing at a hospital. So Los Angeles police have identified the man who stabbed a doctor and 2 nurses inside a hospital on Friday, but still haven't determined a motive for the bloody attack. Police say Ashkan Amirsoleimani, 35 years old, entered the Encino Hospital Medical Center just before 4 p.m. with his dog and asked for treatment for injuries that were suffered in a car crash, she said, and then suddenly attacked the doctor and 2 nurses. The 3 wounded people were taken to a trauma center with critical injuries. And by Sunday afternoon, 2 had been released, and the 3rd was reportedly unstable and in fair condition. The Dignity Health Northridge Hospital Medical Center issued that report on their conditions and release. Police officers tried and failed to negotiate with the suspect to surrender before employing some of our other methods outside of negotiations, said Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton of the LAPD Valley Bureau. Officers contained the suspect in an area near the emergency room while they worked to clear the rest of the hospital's first floor. Hamilton said the suspect was known to the police, had been arrested twice for assaulting police officers. Police say they have not found any evidence of a car crash that the suspect may have been involved in. They also said that they have seen no evidence that he targeted anyone in particular at the hospital. Investigators say they recovered the weapon, a knife, 3 to 4 inch blade at the scene, and that the suspect acted alone. He was booked into jail on 3 counts of attempted murder and given a $3 million bond. Okay. Then we go to West Virginia, where there was a shootout on Friday afternoon. And in that shootout, a deputy and the suspect were both killed. The deputy in West Virginia and his partner were responding to a call about a domestic disturbance, and that was just about 8 p.m., or a little before 8 p.m. on Friday. The Nicholas County Sheriff's deputies contacted suspects Richie Holcomb, 36, and Tyler Kelly, 28, in a camper. And they told them to come out of the camper to talk, but the 2 suspects became agitated after coming outside and ran back inside. The deputies, Deputy Tom Baker and Corporal Jay Ellison, pursued the pair into the camper and discharged a taser. Holcomb and Kelly began firing at the officers, who backed out of the camper while returning fire. Baker was struck in the back and died, and Ellison was hit in the leg. He was treated and released. The sheriff's office said that Holcomb was also killed in the shootout and that Kelly was taken into custody after a short standoff and physical altercation. Kelly has been charged with first-degree murder. We're back in West Virginia again, okay? A West Virginia mother, pictured here, has been charged with child neglect after her toddler daughter stepped out in front of a Fayette County deputy's patrol vehicle Thursday evening. The deputy driving the vehicle said the little girl, who was under 2 years old, wasn't wearing shoes and was walking in the roadway of Boomer Branch Road before she stepped in front of his cruiser. The deputy searched for a responsible adult for about 10 minutes before finding the child's mother, Taylor M. Falbo. Falbo, 22, has been charged with gross child neglect, creating risk of serious injury or death. Falbo reportedly told investigators she had gone into another room to change another child's diaper and didn't know the toddler went outside. She was booked into the Southern Regional Jail. Okay. Harmony Montgomery, if you remember, has been missing. She was reported missing in December of 2021, although she wasn't seen for 2 years before the report. Well, now the stepmother of the 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery was arrested Friday on 2 perjury charges. Manchester Police Chief Alan Aldenberg said that Kayla Montgomery has been charged with lying to a grand jury. A grand jury indicted Kayla Montgomery, 31, in March on fraud charges for allegedly continuing to collect the 7-year-old little girl's benefits, even though she was no longer living in the household. In May, she was hit with a new charge of receiving stolen firearms a week after her ex-husband, who's Harmony's father, and that's 32-year-old Adam Montgomery, was charged with stealing a rifle and a shotgun. Kayla was released on bail on May 6th. Now, prior to her arrest on the gun charge, prosecutors said they made a deal with her on the fraud charges. Details weren't released, but a hearing on the agreement was scheduled for June 9th. The status of that hearing is unclear in the wake of her newest charges. None of the charges are related to Harmony's disappearance, though, officials say, but the girl's biological mother, Crystal Sorey, said that karma is real. I knew she wouldn't last long. I hope that only brings us closer to bringing Harmony home. Now, the biological mother, Sorey, lost custody of Harmony in 2018 because of drug issues. And she believes that the stepmother, Kayla Montgomery, knows something about her daughter's disappearance and notified police on November 18, 2021, that she hadn't seen or spoken with her daughter after Easter of 2019, and that the girl's father had blocked her calls and blocked her on social media. Investigators weren't able to locate Adam Montgomery initially, but learned that Harmony had not been physically seen since October-November of 2019. Police received reports from Adam's brother and cousin that he abused the little girl. Investigators found him on December 31st of 2021, sleeping in a car with his current girlfriend, who told them that her boyfriend, Adam Montgomery, had never even once mentioned his daughter Harmony. He told investigators that Harmony's mother picked her up in November of 2019, and he hasn't seen her since. Adam has been charged with assault for the abuse incident his relatives witnessed, but no one has ever been charged with Harmony's disappearance. And anyone with information about Harmony's disappearance can call or text a 24-hour tip line at 603-203-6060. 1 second. Sorry, as soon as I told you my allergies are really good and I took my medicine, and then I had to sneeze. Okay. Let's see here now. And we've talked about this case before, which is absolutely horrific. Earlier this year, a Los Angeles County Superior Court judge ruled that South Carolina socialite, who is, what is her first name here? So let me get this story back, because we have talked about this. So Rebecca Grossman, she's 57 years old. She's the co-founder of the Grossman Burn Foundation, and she's the wife of a prominent plastic surgeon, Peter Grossman. You remember this story because we have talked about this. So this started back in 2020. She was charged with murder months after she hit and killed these two brothers that you see on the screen. She was speeding and she hit them as they crossed the street with their parents. Okay? That was September 29 of 2020, and she killed 11-year-old Mark Eiskander and 8-year-old Jacob Eiskander. So yeah, I believe that they would have been and that she killed them in the crosswalk of Westlake Village. They were crossing with their parents and siblings, and she slammed into them. She kept driving. She came to a stop about a quarter of a mile further down the street, and only because her engine cut off, according to the district attorney's office. They believe speed was a factor, alcohol was a factor, And as part of the investigation, she left the scene of the crime. Family friends said the two boys were with their parents and two younger siblings, including a sister in a stroller, as the group was crossing the street shortly before 7 p.m. on September 29th. The parents heard the speeding car approaching, got the two younger children out of the way, but the boys were too far ahead and were struck. Mark was pronounced dead at the scene. Jacob was rushed to the nearby hospital where he died several hours later. Okay, and let me see if I can get a picture of this. Her car, the front end damage of her car right there at the time. Okay, and now let's see what the... So Rebecca pled now, and let me get a picture of Rebecca up here. There's a picture of her with her car. She pled not guilty. A pretrial hearing is scheduled for August 1st, and another may be held in September. Her attorney, Tony Busby, said that his client is being overcharged and that the incident was caused by poorly marked, unguarded, and an unlit crosswalk. The prosecution continued in its insistence on making this a murder case by overcharging my client, a pillar of the community with murder is nothing more than a transparent effort to force her to plea, her attorney's statement read. And it goes on and continues. Such act of gamesmanship impede progress in this important case. We won't allow Rebecca to be bullied this way. Since the crash, Grossman has been free on a $2 million bail. Some in the community have expressed outrage that the proceedings are taking so long, which they attribute to Grossman's privilege and contacts. Justice must be served regardless of Grossman's financial means, status, privilege, and connections. One petition calls for justice says. Okay, so we'll be looking to that trial. That is just a horrific case there. Okay, we have this. So, an Indiana woman is accused of killing her boyfriend after she tracked him to a bar where he was having drinks with another woman. Authorities allege that 26-year-old Galen Morris used an Apple AirTag tracking device to monitor the location of her boyfriend, Andre Smith, who's also 26, was according to court records. Now, here's the thing. See, there's cameras, there's all this stuff. Well, now people have tracking devices on phones, and they may put a tracking device on someone's phone and then use that information to track them down and kill them, like here. So understand what technology is around, people. And to the people that are problem solving by killing someone, if he's cheating on you, honey, you should have just, walked away. But what good is this going to be killing him? Okay, it doesn't. Problem solving is just ridiculous. So anyway, she used that Apple AirTag to track him to this bar, which was called Tilly's Pub in Indianapolis. She used that, walks into the pub, confronts her boyfriend, threatens to beat up the woman he's with while holding an empty wine bottle. Okay? He was able to get in between the two women, prevented the fight, but bar management told them, get out of here. I want you all out of here. So a witness said that a witness told investigators that the girlfriend, Morris, gets back into her Chevy, drove forward, knocking Smith down, and then she reportedly put the vehicle in reverse and drove forward over him again. She got out of the vehicle and tried to attack the other woman before the police officers got to the scene and intervened. Medics located Smith's body under his girlfriend's car outside the bar, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. A witness told investigators that Morris explained to them that she had located Smith using an AirTag device because she suspected that he was cheating on her. She's now facing a preliminary charge of murder. Final charges have not been decided. AirTags are coin-sized devices that use Bluetooth technology, and they were designed to help users locate lost items such as keys and wallets, but the products have also been used to unwittingly track people and their vehicles, including by stalkers and those intending to do them harm. Apple has employed measures aimed at preventing unauthorized or unwanted tracking. How's that going? Not too good. Okay. Okay, now there's another mass shooting, it looks like, in Philadelphia. Looks like this is just coming in now. At least 3 people died, 12 others were injured in a mass shooting on a busy Philadelphia street late Saturday night. Shortly before midnight, police in the area reported hearing shots and saw several active shooters shooting into the crowd. And that's from Philadelphia Police Inspector D.F. Pace, who announced at his press conference early Sunday. The shooting occurred on a South Street in a popular district with numerous restaurants and bars. There were hundreds of individuals just enjoying South Street as they do every single weekend when this shooting broke out. As of Sunday morning, 3 people were declared dead after they were rushed to local hospitals. A 26-year-old woman, a 22-year-old man, and a 34-year-old man. They had multiple gunshot wounds. And the conditions of the other victims have not been released, nor have their names. One officer was reportedly within 10 to 15 yards of the shooters. The officer shot at the suspect, and the suspect dropped his weapon and fled. Authorities recovered 2 handguns from the scene, including one gun that had an extended magazine. Police have not yet reported any arrests, but investigators are hoping the security cameras from area businesses in the street recorded the shooting and those responsible. A separate shooting occurred around 11 p.m. just a few blocks away, where police located 13 bullet casings. Authorities are examining whether there's a link between the 2 shootings. Mayor Jim Kenney said Sunday morning that he issued a statement when issuing a statement about the attack, and I quote, "Once again, we see lives senselessly lost and those injured in yet another horrendous, brazen, and despicable act of gun violence. My heart is with the family, friends, loved ones of those lost or injured, and with everyone impacted by this terrible tragedy. The United States has seen at least 239 mass shootings so far in 2022. Crazy. And here's a little more about, we talked about this yesterday. Some of you did not hear it with us yesterday, the day before yesterday, and we're trying to tell us, so I'm just going to go over this again. This is the grandfather over here, 66-year-old Mark Collins, and the 4 boys are all of his grandsons that were found dead in the family's cabin in Centerville, Texas, and they were killed by a convicted murderer who escaped on a prison bus. The family went to the cabin earlier that day for what was supposed to be a weekend of hunting and spending time outside, but they couldn't be reached by relatives who became concerned, called for a welfare check. The deceased boys were identified as 18-year-old Waylon Collins, 16-year-old Carson Collins, 11-year-old Hudson Collins, and 11-year-old cousin Bryson Collins. So 3 of the boys are brothers and their cousin, all the grandchildren of the 66-year-old Mark Collins. Authorities believe that Gonzalo Lopez is responsible for killing all 5. On May 12, 46-year-old Lopez got out of restraints in a caged area while riding on a prison bus, stabbed the driver, and reportedly drove the bus until corrections officer shot and disabled the vehicle, prompting Lopez to escape to a wooded area. Police spotted Lopez on Thursday driving Mark Collins' truck south of San Antonio towards the U.S.-Mexico border. Officers chased Lopez, who crashed the truck into a tree and began shooting at officers. Police fired back, and Lopez died in the shootout. Authorities found an AR-15 rifle and a pistol inside the truck. Mark Collins was reportedly aware that Lopez had escaped and had spoken to local law enforcement before the trip. Police had cleared that house multiple times, according to a family friend. Lopez reportedly has connection with gangs in both the United States and Mexico, and he was being transported for what was described as a medical appointment at the time he escaped. In a statement, the family said they are in grief and mourning this inexplicable tragedy. We are devastated by the loss of our dear family members at the family ranch in Centerville, Texas, the family said. These precious people who loved and were loved by so many will never be forgotten.
We want to play some basketball.
Yeah.
After a while.
I don't know. He's around 12:45. So.
12:45. So you know.
Yep. All right. Let me see now. So let's see what else we're almost done. And we're going to talk about this one here. Tiger King, kind of talked about him for a few minutes last night. Doc Antle, the rival of Joe Exotic in the Netflix docu-series Tiger King, was arrested Friday by federal agents. The 62-year-old was booked into the J. Rubin Long Detention Center in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at 5:40 p.m. Officials have not confirmed publicly the reason for the arrest, but media outlets have said it's related to money laundering. Hearing is scheduled for Monday, citing information from federal prosecutors. PETA recently called for a probe of Antle's zoo, called Myrtle Beach Safari, and the nonprofit Rare Species Fund, which Antle founded. Antle's been accused of using charitable donations for the zoo. According to Debbie Meltzer, Associate Director of Captive Animal Law Enforcement at PETA, in a statement, it's fitting that Doc Antle is behind bars after years of locking up the endangered animals he uses in tawdry photo ops. His legal woes are mounting as PETA recently blew the whistle on his apparent charity scam, and the end to his reign of terrorizing tiger cubs can't come soon enough. Authorities in recent years have charged Antle with the trafficking and abuse of exotic animals, accusations that he has denied. Antle has also been previously accused of engaging in relations of a sexual nature with minors, abusing women, and fraud. Allegations that he has also said are absolutely false. Marty Irby, Executive Director of Animal Wellness Action, issued a statement in response to the reported arrest of Antle, calling Antle a threat to both animal and human safety. We applaud the Department of Justice and the FBI for arresting Doc Antle, a longtime scoundrel engaged in the egregious and inhumane trade of dangerous big cats. Egregious and endangering. Where am I? Acts of inhumane acts. And let's see. Irresponsible breeding, inhumane living conditions, and public exploitation is a serious problem in the U.S., and caging these wild animals also presents a threat to human health and safety. Sorry. Okay, in Charlotte, North Carolina, an arriving passenger at a Charlotte Douglas International Airport arrived with more than just a rolling electric wheelchair when met with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers. On Tuesday, Mr. Alexander A. Lopez Morale, a 22-year-old lawful permanent resident of the United States, arrived in Charlotte on a flight from the Dominican Republic and was encountered by CBP officers utilizing an electric wheelchair to conceal packages of a white powdery substance. After he underwent further inspection by officers involving a closer examination of the motorized chair, CBP officers found the packages within the seat cushions containing the substance that field tested positive for cocaine. The seizure demonstrates the dynamic border environment in which CBP officers operate as CLT, says Barry Chaston, CBP Area Post Detective Charlotte. Our officers are determined to adapt and respond to these threats in an effort to stop narcotics reaching our communities. A total of 4 packages containing over 23 pounds of cocaine discovered in the wheelchair had an estimated street value of $378,000. CBP officers placed Mr. Lopez Morale under the arrest, and the cocaine and wheelchair were turned over to Homeland Security Investigations. Special Agents, Queen City's Border Enforcement Security Team, and Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department for further investigation. Mr. Lopez Morale was charged with felony trafficking and cocaine. Criminal charges are merely allegations. Defendants are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's what there's the picture. Okay. Let's see. And I think we may be close to the end of our headlines here, and I've got to get going, but we've got 2 more things to cover, and this guy here. Okay, and this guy is from Mississippi. He faked his death in 2018 to avoid being prosecuted for R-ing and getting a 14-year-old pregnant. He was sentenced Friday to 85 years in prison. Jacob Blair Scott, 45, admitted to impregnating the girl in Jackson County. He purchased Plan B and various pills when she became pregnant with his baby in 2017. The victim testified that Scott R''ed her 30 times, and the assaults began in 2016 when her mother was disabled and was sleeping a lot due to medications. The victim also said that Scott was a father figure to her, as her biological father died when she was 8 years old. The girl said she had no intention of ending the pregnancy, as she did not believe in abortion, and no matter what, it was not the baby's fault. The victim's mother did not learn of the SA until her daughter was hospitalized. A DNA test confirmed that Scott fathered her baby. However, Scott testified the child victim had initiated contact by pleasuring him while he was drunk and medicated. She wanted me to scratch her back. I had relations with her because she came on to me. Now, the Sun Herald reported that Scott blamed the repeated assaults on his PTSD disorder and other medical issues that were caused when he served in Iraq. Scott was expected to plead guilty in 2018, but instead faked his own death in Orange Beach, Alabama. At the time, authorities found his abandoned boat, a handgun tied to a rope, and a small amount of blood. His truck was parked nearby. And there was, if you find this, contact Melody Scott. My name is Jacob Scott. I'm sorry. A note read at the scene. Reportedly, federal authorities found Scott then living in a camper in Oklahoma back in January of 2021. He was using someone else's name. In addition to the 85-year prison sentence, he's ordered to pay a $10,000 fine. And one more, and hold on. It's still my birthday somewhere. It has to be, Rosalita. Thank you so much. You're a sweetheart. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. You betcha. You betcha it's still my birthday somewhere. It's at least my birthday month. Thank you so much, Rosalita. Okay. Let's go to the mother that is still looking for her daughter, who may be with a 40-year-old man. We talked about this last night, and she still is looking, continuing to search for her daughter. Right here, hang on. Okay, who may be with this man? Oh, why is that? Okay. She's desperate to find her daughter. Hasn't been seen, since May 13th at around 3 p.m. in the 1300 block of College Street in Mountain Home. That's in Arkansas. Sarah Gilpin is the 14-year-old's name. She may be in the company of this 40-year-old man identified as Isaac Melder. The pair may be traveling in a maroon diesel pickup truck with a black hood. Arkansas license plate 331YEW. Here's another picture of Sarah. If you see her, say something, call 911. She stands 5'7", weighs about 150 pounds. She has long brown hair and brown eyes. Melder's described as a white male, 5'11", weighs about 250. He has blonde hair and blue eyes. Here's some other photos of him, if you recognize him. And according to online court records, Melder has a warrant out of Baxter County, Arkansas, for allegedly contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Anyone with information about the case is urged to contact Mountain Home Police Department 870-425-6336 or fill out a tip on the Arkansas State Patrol's Crime Tip website. This is a developing story and will be updated as additional information becomes available. If you forget the number and everything, you can always call 911 if you do spot either of these. And as always, they say don't attempt to approach, yada, yada, yada. But let's hope that she's found and brought home safely. And that's all I have for you guys today in the terms of headlines. I'm going to head on over as my son and Gia will be coming, from the farmer's market and celebrate some more birthday in my birthday month, right, Rosalita? It's the birthday month. So, what'd you say they got him? Oh, Rebecca's saying something else. Hi, Christy. Let's say hi to everybody that came in while I was reading. Hello, Linda Galb, Rebecca Nelson, Christy, Jeanette, Tina Lambert, Kelly in Texas, Tracy Thomas. Kelly in Texas, if you could get me shells, I would gladly play shipping. I would love that. I saw your comment. Farm Wife, Margot K, Paris 710, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Susie B, it's still my birthday weekend. Yay! And Jeanette, I do have watermelon. Thank you. Marissa Cart, Rosalina Marie, Waterfall. Who else snuck in here? Kubi, Carol Clark. Let's see. Catherine Morrissey, good to see you. Sherry Shirley, always good to see you. It's good to see all of you. Wake Up, hi. Deb on the Move, hello there. Nona May. Okay, I think I've gotten everybody now, right? Tammy, hello there. Anyway, thank you guys so much for spending some time with me on this Sunday. I'm going to go down to the house. I was going to do a paint pouring over the lake. I don't know, Sassy. Where could they be? Right? Everybody loves them so much, though. Can't really blame them, right? Hi, Gianna Marie. Thank you, Rebecca Nelson. I might do a paint pouring over the lake. The only thing is, when you do a paint pouring, you have to be so careful. Oh, I've got a big update. Remember when we were going on vacation and we could not find my Canon, the 80D, and I had to bring the 60D with me? Guess what? You're not going to believe this. Jimmy found the camera. You know where it was? It was at the other house in a drawer in a bureau. Because it must have been there from the summer. I can't wait to see what the last pictures I were on the chip. I feel like Jodi Arias a little bit. Hopefully not. No, I'm joking. I can't wait to see what pictures were last on that. You don't eat what? Watermelon, Linda? Oh, Kind bars. You don't eat Kind bars? You don't like Kind bars? Kind bars are good, Linda. They are. They're full of nuts and fruity goodness. Anyway, what was I going to say? It was in the bureau. So I'm wondering what my last pictures are. It was there. I still have to go and get the ones we took off of the 60D, and I hope they all came out okay, because we'll see. I have to get my pictures together, and anybody else that has vacation pictures, please send them in to me so I can try to assemble them in something. Really? You can't chew them? You're missing out, Linda. You're missing out. Okay. Anyway, Janae loves them, so do I. But anyway, I found the camera, so it's good news. I'll tell you what the last pictures I took on it, and hopefully I still have to go through and get so many pictures off my chips. I haven't even gotten Gia's birthday off. I'm terrible at that now. I used to be really good with that. I'm terrible now. All right, but I'm going to see you guys later. Oh, well. Linda, you can have watermelon, right? Have watermelon instead. And I'm going to run, I don't know, I feel like doing a craft really bad, and I did want to do a paint pouring to show Gia and Michael about the paint pouring. But, before I go, I want to ask you guys something. Hold on a minute. And Linda, stay right there. Stay right there, because you might know something. Hang on, stay right there, Linda. Don't move, please. Just please stay right there. I have to show you something, Linda. Please, stay right, Linda. Don't leave, please. I have to show you two things. And I know that you probably know a little bit about these things. You might. Okay. So, at a sale I was at last weekend, I saw this bell, and I really liked it, okay? I really liked it before I even... And then when I picked it up like this, I looked in there and... Hold on, let me see if I can get it to focus on that. It says Ceramici, Italy. And I just really loved it, right? And I said, I know my son would love that, because he likes stuff like that. And it's very nice. It looks like it might even have, that might even be some type of gold plate on that. But I looked this up online, and what I found was an Aurora bell. Let me show you if I can pull it over. But I can't find one that looks like this, but it has this same Ceramice mark in it, okay? Now, are you kidding me? I'm not going to be able to... I just saw it 2 seconds ago. Hold on, let me... And then don't go, Linda, because I have to show you something else. And I can't even see what you're saying, but I have to show you something else, Linda. But don't go. Please. What I find, and it is the exact same shape, and it's from 1967. Well, this one is... is this one with the same design. Okay. And the same marking here. But this says Aurora, Ceramiche, Italy. Now, this one, where did I just put it? It doesn't say Aurora on it. This one also does not have the gold on it. And I'm wondering if, and I cannot find one that looks like mine. So if anybody, including Linda, finds a bell that looks like that, I would just like to know. I'm not planning on selling it or anything. I'm going to give it to my son and Gia. I think it's, but I just wanted to know if anybody saw that. The other thing is, and I saw this and learned about this because you guys were always talking about the bubble glass, right? And when I saw this little bud vase, see, my daughter didn't even look twice, okay? When I showed this to Gia last week, she goes like this, "Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. I have to have this." And I'm like, if you have to have this, you can have this, okay? She's like, "It's a bud vase, right?" I said, "Yeah, you put a little flower in there." So this is a bubble glass, and that's what I learned about from you guys. It's very heavy. So I think they said it's like a paperweight bud vase. And I've looked them up. They look like they're from the mid-century or so. So, but she definitely wants this. And that's not, that little circle you see in there is from my light. But isn't it nice, Tracy? Gia loves it. So I'm like, okay, Gia, I will give it to you as soon as I show it to everyone. And, right, Linda? So that's a good find, right, Linda? See, my daughter's like, she wouldn't have looked twice at it. But Gia knew right away. So that was good. But the bell, if anybody can find that bell, you could send me a link to the floral bell. I'm just wondering, it's newer than that? Well, I'm finding ones, let me see. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. I'll show you what I found. Bubble glass bud vase. I'm finding mid-century on some of them here in pictures I'm finding. Let me see. Like these. Hold on. These are listing as mid-century. Just saying. That's what I'm finding online. That's that one is probably just like mine. I'm looking at it. And that's let's see. Blue bubble glass vase. But she definitely wants that. And I'm going to ask you guys, can someone guess what I paid for that blue vase? Can you guess what I paid for it last weekend? Sherry Shirley, what do you think I paid for that? Not yet, Margot. I haven't heard yet. No, I don't think she picked her up yet. The bell might be a place. Okay. Lower, Tracy Thomas. Can you go lower than $5? Lower than $2. Lower, Janae. Lower than $10, Sherry Shirley. Lower than $4, Carol Clark. 50 cents, Kubi. Kubi got it. I paid 50 cents for this. 50 cents. 50 cents at a garage sale. 50 cents. I snatched that so quickly. And do you know something? That was the second day of the garage sale, and my daughter and I went late in the day. That means so many people passed this by for 50 freaking cents. And I knew bubble glass, and I said, I'm going to get it. And the first thing Gia goes like this, oh my gosh, I love it, right? I'm like, you can have it. As soon as I just show it to all of my friends here. I'm serious, Janae. 50 cents. Did I say that? I told you guys, Kubi? Oh, okay. Isn't that crazy? And she loves it. And I'm gonna put a flower that I made, you know, those tissue flowers in here for her. Yeah, but she loves it. And you know what? I think I don't know. Right? So, yeah. She loves it, and my daughter would have walked right by it. My daughter wouldn't have. New York. New York. Guessing New York people charge more. Oh, for the vase. Guess how much the bell was. The bell was. I think the bell was 50 cents or $1. I think the bells were 50 cents. Let me show you another bell I got, because let's see if anybody knows about this bell. The bell, I believe, was the 50 cents. It wasn't even $1. I believe the bell was 50 cents as well. You didn't hear me tell? Good. It was a good deal, right, Linda? Did I do good? Okay, hold on. I got to show you something else. Maybe you might know what this is. And I'm definitely, I love this one that I'm going to show you. These two things are going to Gia and Michael, the bell and the vase, but this reminded me of, I'm thinking of Betsy Clark or something. But it does, I have to put a clapper in it. I'm not worried about that it didn't have a clapper. But okay, I couldn't believe, okay, first of all, it has a butterfly on the top. It has this butterfly, and it has like this sunbonnet character who's mailing a letter. And then inside, hold on. Hold on. Isn't it cute? No, that must be my son. It's missing a clapper, but it has a little thing that I can put a clapper if I want it. Looks like the sunbonnet too, right? Hold on a minute, okay? Hold on 1 second. Hello? Yeah, I'm on my way down there. Jimmy's there. Why? Who's Doug? There's no dog down there. No. There's 2 cats missing on the lake. Are you sure it's not a cat? All right, I'm on my way. I'll be right there. All right, I'll be right there. All right. Okay, hang on. I gotta go, but My son said there's some dog down at the other house, but there's 2 cats missing. Somebody on the Lake Road lost their 2 black and white cats. All right, but he said they're not cats. If anybody can find out about that, let me know. All right, I gotta go. Thank you again, Rosalita Marie, and I will talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Bye now.